Hello and welcome to another Rightly Witterings. And today, I've got the first of the little Christmas list things for you. It occurred to me, it's not yet December, it's not Christmas, but with the way things are, it was my birthday last week. Yes, I'm even older. And for my birthday, some friends who live roughly 8 miles west of me posted me a birthday card. It arrived today, 8 days after they posted it, which is worse than pretty appalling. It is disgraceful. Anyway, if you enjoy the videos, don't forget, hit the like button, subscribe, hit the alert bell, and if you want to buy me a coffee or anything, there's links down the bottom, you can do all that. But this is not about that. This is about various things that I would happily recommend to anyone. This is the first. This is a pen from Tom's Studio, and it has been in my pocket, or certainly for the last year, because I took it with me on a cycling last year, and it's just a wonderful, simple little fountain pen. That's it. Really good size, very convenient. It's metal, so it feels good. It takes a huge amount of ink because it's an eyedropper. All of that is full of ink. It writes beautifully. I've got a semi-flex nib, not a fully flex nib, but you can see here where I've written. It gives you a nice amount of line variation. It gives you just really good looking handwriting, and it's so neat and tidy. The only issue I've got with it is I have to keep it in a pocket with a zip on it because there is no clip, and I am incredibly good at losing pens and pencils that don't have a clip. I've lost a Graf von Faber-Castell perfect pencil, which was £200 worth of beautiful metal that I really didn't want to lose, but I was tickling my son. His fist caught my shirt pocket and must have flicked it out. I didn't even notice. I was too busy tickling him. But that did have a clip on it, but the clip was so loose and pathetic on the Graf von Faber-Castells that they're just hopeless. You might just as well not have a clip. They'll fall out anywhere. So this goes in a zip-up pocket. I always wear cargo trousers, so that's not a problem. And if you're even remotely interested in fountain pens, especially with line variation, I can thoroughly recommend this Semiflex nib on the Tom's Studio pen. I think it's superb. Do I get paid for saying that? No, I don't. A second pen that I would like to mention is this. Now, I don't even know if you can get these still, but this is a Pilot, and I think it was a brand or a version called the Metropolitan. And I keep this with me almost all the time because it looks perfectly elegant. It's not an expensive pen. It was given to me by Bernard Knight, the writer, because he found that he couldn't get on with it. I've found it absolutely reliable. It always writes whenever I'm keen to use it. It has a fully functional clip that holds it to your pocket, and if you want to refill it, it will take cartridges, or it will take your standard cartridge converter. And it's comfortable, it's handy, it's a lovely pen to use, and again, inexpensive. Now I come into something a bit more exciting for you, because I've never spoken about these before, mainly because I've never seen them before. Some of them arrived last week. Just trying to dig one out, because it's held in this lovely Lockbee wallet of mine. Come on out. This is my Lockbee standard daily use journal, and it's brilliant. And it has a little mesh front in which you can store things. And one of the things that I have been storing in there is this. This is a Midori index tab. Can you see that? It is a very simple little piece of folded over brass, I guess, and it is incredibly efficient. All you do is you put it on top of your bit of paper, or in this case card, and there you are, you've got an index tab. Now this octet of them I bought from Amazon. They cost £8, I think, so it's £1 each. Oh, that's a lot of money for a few bits of folded over metal. But look at them. They are just, A, they're elegant and efficient. B, they are incredibly practical. You can just stick them, I keep them and use them instead of bookmarks in my lottery. Every one of the 4 has got one, so I know exactly where I've got to in that particular journaling bit of paper. So you just stick the index down on the bit of paper that you're working on, and immediately everything works beautifully. I have to admit, I think that's one of the best buys I've made this year. What else have we got to talk about? Well, I am still in love with this ridiculous little thing. I have spoken about this before. It is an absolutely stunning looking pen rest. So you just put your pen on the head of the snake and its tail. It is a rattlesnake. You can see the rattle bits there. And it's absolutely gorgeous. I was sent this by a little Chinese firm that started making them, and I was staggered by the quality and how beautifully it was made. The company name is Coppertist Wu. There you go, Coppertist Wu. They are the chaps who sent this to me, and I use it literally every day. I just think it's wonderful. The detailing is quite stunning. There's a couple of jet black stones for eyes, I think, but you can see every single scale. It's beautifully reproduced. Now, of course, we have to talk a little bit about little things like notebooks. Now, I have been saying I'm going to drop my Midori. I do love it. It's been with me all over the world a couple of times, and I think it looks and still smells rather wonderful. What's really good about these things is not so much just the fact that it's got really superb paper, which doesn't feather or give ghost or any sort of problems like that. It is wonderfully good. But you can also get different inserts like this one here, which is a small insert that allows you to store things. So for example, I always have a spare string so that if the string that's currently going around it breaks, I have a spare. I also have some glue dots and things which are just useful stationary items. But one thing I always keep in here as well is this, which is a ludicrously minimum or minimalist pencil. Take standard leads. There you go. There's the lead come out, if you can see that. I'm not sure you can. Should just be able to see that, I think. It's not the most comfortable pencil to use by any stretch of the imagination. But this little Auto Minima, I think it's called, is incredibly efficient as a little emergency use pencil. And the great thing is it comes with this little backing plate which can be used like a credit card, so you can really put it wherever you want. And I think in future it's going to stay in my lockbee, because there are various places in the lockbee where I can put it. So for example, in one of the card slots there, now it sits there perfectly safely, and I've always got something in here to write with, no matter where I am, what I'm doing, or anything else. And if I want to, I can sketch with it because it's a pencil. I still have an enormous amount of fondness for my William Hanna notebooks. These things are just gorgeous. I love the paper that they use in their notebooks. I'm starting to run out. I might need to buy another one shortly. But I also like the fact that you've got big sections there and at the back where you can store notes, for example. I normally keep an emergency stash in there. And when I go up to London, my credit card and rail cards will go in these two card slots. So it actually works for me as a replacement wallet, but it's practical. It is a notebook. I can use it whenever I'm out and about. I don't like small A6 notebooks so much. I prefer this sort of size, but this sort of size really isn't the size I like. The sort of size I really like is a standard A5 type cahier, because cahiers are thin enough that you can fill them up fairly quickly, but they're big enough that it takes a bit of time. I don't like having big notebooks that I know are going to take me a year or two to fill up, like a Leuchtturm, like so many other hard-backed notebooks. I've grown not to love them so much. Right, this, my A4 notebook that came from Fountain Pens, what was it called? Got to check again. It was paper4fountainpens.com. They went bust a while ago, apparently. And it's a shame, because this is a lovely notebook with Tomo River 58 GSM paper, no bleeding, it's just wonderful paper to write on. And as you can see, this notebook has been around the houses a few times. It's got corners that have been bumped and slightly worn, but this has been in use for well over 10 years. It's actually a bit too long. I prefer to get through something and use it a bit faster. So cahiers, I think, might be the way for me to go. And what else can I talk about? Well, this is another lockbee device. I've got to mention it. The tool roll. This is not something I ever thought I'd have a use for. I was told by lockbee, oh yeah, you'll find it really useful because you can keep all your artist materials in there when you go out sketching and things. Nah. I've got pencil cases that'll do that perfectly adequately. But lockbee were very good and they sent me this to review and look at. And I have to admit, this is now my essential carrying bag. Whenever I go out, this is in my bag. Doesn't matter whether I'm going up to meetings in London or going out to give presentations, as I did this last weekend in Throwley Church, and then also down to Torquay, where I had to give one talk and also join in on 2 panels. Why do I take it with me everywhere? Well, it's practical. You've got this little flap here, so you can stick your buckle out of the way so it doesn't flap around and clobber you when you're doing things like this. And then when you open it up, what's it got inside? Well, usually down here in this clear area, I will have spares for my diabetic testing kit. So I'll have lots of lancets in there. I've got 2 spare batteries for my testing machine, and because it takes 2 batteries. And apart from that, I'll normally have alcohol wipes and various other things all kept in there so that when I go out and about, I've got the spares that I need. In here, there is an Apple adapter, and behind that there's the other essential thing, which is a damn great battery, which works to, that will maintain my iPad or phone or free write. And then what I've also got is a whole bunch of cables. So I've got standard USB-A to iPhone. So when I'm in the car, that's the one I need to use. I've got USB-C to USB-C. That works for my SumUp card machine, but also for this adapter works with this iPad. I've got an Apple from USB-C, USB-A. I've got USB-A to a mini USB. I've got USB-A to a micro USB. And then fairly crucially, I've got an adapter here that goes HDMI into my iPad. That means that whenever I'm out and about, I can now plug my iPad in and do a, what do you call it, key manager, key stage, what is it? It's called Keynote presentation. So I can do that from my iPad now whenever I go out. And I've also got this adapter, which is from a 3.5mm audio socket into a 2.5mm. Why? Because that camera takes a 2.5mm audio in. So with this lot, I also have a notebook in there, and I don't think I've got anything in this pocket. No, I haven't got anything in there. But that lot is basically all of my essential needs. There's one gap in the cabling bit. That's because that's being used right now to charge my iPhone. It's a USB-C to FireWire. So with this lot, or with this bag, I've got absolutely everything I need when I go out and about. It will charge any of my devices. And it means that in my bag, I've just got the one neat thing to take with me. And every time I finish using one of the cables or anything, it goes back in here so I know exactly where everything is. Which for me is just fabulous because I am so hopeless at keeping track of cables and things generally. That just makes life so much easier. Right, so I've talked about 2 Lockbee items, the tool roll, the Lockbee, what do you call that? Just their journal pack, really. I've talked about the index tabs from Midori. I've talked about the William Hannon notebook, and I've talked about 2 pens. So that's 6 items today. Oh, 7. I forgot the snake from Coppertist Woo. So 7 items. I think that's enough for now. And when I come back next week, I'll have some more items, no doubt. I'm looking forward to receiving a new pen before too long. That'll be good, I hope. I've decided that although I really quite like Preppies, they do suffer from the one problem, which is this plastic, whatever it's made of, is incredibly weak. And I've already used 2 barrels on this. This is the 3rd barrel. So it's not supposed to be the right barrel for a Pilot Preppy. I think that came from a white pen of some sort. It's a good, stable fountain pen. Very cheap. But because it's so easily breakable, I've decided I'm going to replace it because it was my birthday not long ago and because 2 very generous brothers offered to send me some money. I'm investing it in a new Pineda because Pineda have little cheap Black Friday sales every now and again. And although I missed it over the weekend, I saw their email offering things, and I looked up and they had the Avatar UR going quite cheaply, and they've agreed that I can buy one at the special sale price. So that's going to come through hopefully in the next few weeks, and I'll be able to talk about that. So what else can I say apart from thanks a lot for watching? I hope that was interesting. I haven't got any pictures of the dogs today, I'm afraid, because I've just been working too hard, and I'm going to carry on working too hard for the next goodness knows how long. First of all, I'm doing some reviewing of my history. I'm refreshing my memory of the mercenaries in southern France and Italy from 1356 onwards, because I'm about to launch on a new series of books based on those chaps with John Hawkwood and others. So there's exciting for you. Right, hope that was all interesting. Thanks a lot for watching. If you wouldn't mind hitting the like button, it makes a big difference to me and it doesn't take you very long, so why wouldn't you? And I'll speak to you soon. Take care.